Hey, freshwater sailor. Open your eyes. Come on, I haven't got all day.
Who? What?
Rise and shine, little princess.
So, it all happened for real. And I'm still alive.
Or are we both dead and this is heaven? The sight is like I imagined it to be. Now, if we're finished with the small talk, let's get to it. I have a Slavic witness rambling in an unintelligible language about two men beating each other up on a public bridge in the middle of the night. I am forced to deduce by the circumstances that one of the two men was you.
It was a true and proper assault, old man. I was riding around on my green dart when, all of a sudden...
Don't bullshit me, Bundy. I know very well what you're doing. If I let you do what you want, it's only because of the respect that I feel for you. But you went too far tonight.
You're not the first one to tell me that.
But I'll be the last. I took your badge back, and this time I'll lock it up so tight that even a funambulist trick won't be enough to get it back. The Malsberg case is hiding more than it seemed in the beginning. I can agree with you on that. But your methods make me blow a gasket. You have concealed evidence from the authorities. You scared potential witnesses to death. You alarmed our main suspect. And on top of that, you dragged Miss Sharp down with you.
Alice has nothing to do with this mess. She didn't even know I was acting alone.
It's too late now for melodramatic scenes. Alice Sharp was suspended from her already precarious duties, and for that she'll have to thank a man who could have helped make her career. Goodbye, Bundy. In the end, you really disappointed me.
It was a tough blow. I had nothing to lose in that whole story, and I jumped headlong into it. But Alice... I destroyed a dream nurtured for years, and was just started to materialize. I felt like a worm. Going home to rest on a real bed seemed like the best idea in the world at the moment. I'd think about the rest later.
Lars!
Ugh, you scared the shit out of me. Wait, how'd you get in my flat?
By the door. You're not used to locking the door when you leave, are you?
I know this might seem like a maniacal habit, but the key to this door is somewhere in the city sewers. Alice, I guess I owe you an apology.
I agree, you do. Or else you could get me out of the situation you've gotten me into, rather than wasting your time feeling sorry for yourself.
We just have to give it a little time. Then I'll talk to Burton. I'm sure he'll be willing to give you another chance.
You have to face the truth. Burton wants nothing more to do with you, me, or what we have done. Let's admit it. We acted on impulse, sought glory on our own, and do you know what happens now?
What happens is that you'll go your way, and I'll go mine. And maybe we'll catch up once a year to wish each other Merry Christmas with a phone call full of silence and embarrassment.
What happens is that we roll up our sleeves, and we really do find the glory on our own.
You'll find a good workplace, despite everything. Maybe not in law enforcement as you hoped. Maybe as a waitress or a cleaning lady, but you'll manage to move on somehow.
Lars? Did you hear what I just said?
Then kids will come, sweet innocent children that will instill in you a new hope for the future. Wait a minute, what? Are you serious?
Never been more serious. We got so close, Lars. I heard what happened tonight. If Rodwed came for you in person, it's because deep down he considers you a real threat.
Did you know I was able to beat him like an omelet against the mailboxes out here?
Did it happen before or after he threw you out of the building?
There's something wrong with that man. First of all, he lifted me off the ground with one hand like I was a 6-year-old child. Furthermore, and you probably won't believe this, but I saw him. Yes, I mean, I saw him age at least 30 years right before my eyes, in just a few seconds.
No snarky comments? Is that a positive or negative sign?
Having reached this stage, I am ready to accept pretty much anything. Except aliens. Don't you dare propose any theories about aliens.
Yeah, only that lunatic from Weird Cases believes in aliens. Anyhow, how do you explain such a phenomenon?
This individual, and also the doctor, they seem to share a certain taste for theatrics. Could it just be a trick, an illusion? After all, it was dark.
I can't rule it out for sure, but couldn't you do some research about it anyway?
There was no need to ask. What will you do in the meantime? By now, you've exhausted all your valid leads.
I should find out what that strange obsidian item was that I found on board the Citlalique.
But during the struggle tonight, I saw something drop down the hole in the floor out here, and I'm pretty sure it was Radwed's smartphone. I'd say that's the top priority.
Then I'll wait for your progress. From now on, we'll use your house as our headquarters.
Fine by me.
Don't expect me to clean it, though.
Some snoops had identified the winner of the national lottery and the new millionaire Jeremy Boran, or Click to friends, a common man, a game developer working for a company famous for its shooters. From what little I saw from the picture, he wasn't exactly a shooter kind of guy, but you know that looks can be deceiving. The Harbinger officially apologized for the firecrackers distributed the day before, which had caused disorder and petty crimes all over the city. Never mind the apologies. If it weren't for that firecracker, I'd have ended up 6 feet underground prematurely. That destroyed frame recalled bad memories. Who knows what they hope to find in there except dust, spiders, and maybe some outstanding bill. Then, at the bottom of the box, I saw an abandoned envelope. Ramos had left behind traditional poetry for a more attractive and aggressive style. One step forward. For the moment, I didn't consider him a threat. Law enforcement was chasing him all over the country, forcing him on the run. But I just knew that one day I would find myself face to face with Blowtorch again. Now it was within my reach. And there was the little object I had glimpsed the night before. Radwed's smartphone, finally in my hand. Hey.
How's it going?
There's a matter we need to clarify before the story ends. Your luck.
You still haven't given up on that.
Absolutely. Listen to this. You said you studied behavioral science, and that you specialize in the facial analysis of people. Now, in my opinion, that's a tough task comparable to poker. In addition, the eyes are the mirror of the soul. So you created your secret weapon, a tuft of hair that partially covered your own eyes, so you could spy on others without being seen. A bit like wearing sunglasses to look at girls' bums without being called a pervert. The white dye, then, is just a way to divert attention away from the real purpose of the lock.
I never thought I could use my lock in such a way. Your idea is brilliant.
So, it's not that either. Oh, man, I'm starting to feel frustrated.
Are you ready to throw in the towel?
All right, I officially declare my surrender.
I already mentioned that my father was a great detective before his retirement, but I never specified who he worked for. Mr. Richard Kelvin Sharp, my grandfather. The owner of Spy Corps I, the biggest private detective agency in the eastern United States.
Bucatini Smanakari.
You might think this would be an advantage for a girl that dreamed of nothing else besides becoming a detective. Instead, my grandfather was a man of old convictions, son of a patriarchal model that he never thought for a moment to call into question. So he denied me a job.
You were rejected by your grandpa?
Can you believe that? There was a huge fight. I cursed him and his agency to hell while he threatened to cut me out of the family inheritance in order to dissuade me. So I left, knowing that if I gave up, my grandfather would have won.
But he failed. That's how you ended up here, doing an internship for old Seamus.
That's the reason for my white lock. It's my war declaration. It reminds me of the rejection of my grandfather, my own blood, and this pushes me every day not to give up. Disappointed by the reality?
Not at all. I thought you were going to catch me off guard with something simple like Because I love myself like this, or I copied my look from a superhero?
Well, yes, I love myself like this too.
I suppose I didn't manage to solve the mystery completely, but there is one thing I'm sure of.
What is it?
Your grandfather was wrong.
Thanks, Lars. I'm happy we talked about it.
I recovered the package.
Tell me you were spot on and that we have Rodwed's phone.
You better believe it.
Seriously? So taking all those blows was worth it?
Taking all those blows? Since when did you start speaking like a bar brawler?
Since I've been hanging out with you. Give me the device, quick.
Can you get anything from it? Useful information that will get us closer to Catherine?
I can and I will. Let me work. I just have to open the tracking software.
Well, let's be clear, though. He took the most of the beating. What's that stuff?
What stuff?
That thing that looks like an evil jester.
Oh, that's a trailer a guy outside the HPD sent me. I still haven't had the chance to watch it.
Didn't your parents tell you not to accept trailers from strangers?
Lars is right here. I don't have to track him.
Hey, who designed the icon?
Do you like it? I did my best.
Not bad, especially the scarf.
Okay, I'll launch the tracking program. Now I'll connect the smartphone to the laptop and wait for the readout of the results.
So now we will be able to track the calls made with this device?
We should be, but the tracker wasn't able to find enough data from the phone. I guess it's shielded. Darn. Do you see the area that appeared on the map? It indicates the place where Rodwed's phone seems to have been used lately.
Oh, too vast to identify the precise spot. Tell me you still have one more trick up your sleeve or I'll start crying.
I could try to monitor the incoming signals received in the last few days. If we can obtain at least 3 readings, we could triangulate the signal's directions and find the location where Rodwed was at the time of the calls. Here's the first signal. Judging by the reference radio tower, the call must have originated from the old factory building.
Mama did mention she had called Radwed, now that I think about it.
And here's another signal, this time closer to the coast. Any ideas?
Probably the harbor office contacting Radwed after accepting his bribe. Maybe to clarify a few details about that night.
It all fits. And I guess I have access to a third signal. 1 minute and... oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, the fact that the icon is sizzling and dancing all around is not a good sign, is it?
Not at all. The signal comes from a radio tower near the Molesburg mansion, but the results are disturbed. I guess they installed some kind of shielding device specifically to prevent being tracked.
All right, I'm on it. Just tell me what I have to do.
Take this device for starters. Once you get to the Molesburg residence, use it to track the source of the disturbance.
What should I look for exactly?
A telephone jammer. That is to say, a little device equipped with antennas. When you find it, put this tracker on top. It is also programmed to deactivate the jamming device. Once it is taken out of the equation, come back to me, and I'm sure we'll get something.
No sooner said than done. I'll be back here in no time.
The signal didn't point exactly towards the house, but to the garden. I had to figure out where they stuck this you know, the radio thingy. I was able to cross the garden without being noticed by anyone, following the signal up to the gardener's shed. I found the device behind one of those stacked crates. Following Alice's instructions, I put the device I had with me on top of it.
Then Alice would be able to...
Did I really need to do that, Mama dear?
Sure you did, idiot. Didn't you see that bunch of fleas was going to bite my hindquarters?
If you say so, Mama.
Don't hold a grudge on me now. We followed that shorty this far, but where did he go?
Come out of there, Stallone!
Not in the garbage, you idiot! He must be in the shed. Now be quiet and let's wait for him to come out.
Trapped again. Mom and Eugene didn't want to drop the ball. To get out of that shed, I would have to devise one of my genius ideas, and fast.
I could build a ladder using what I found in the shed, and the box seemed like something I should remember. But for the base, I need something more solid. Investigator, cook, tightrope walker, and now also plumber. My portfolio was becoming impressive. That fridge was emptier than mine. I just found a honey pot that could be useful. I never thought I'd say something like this, but the toilet bowl was perfect for the job. Well, now the shed had a comfortable floor toilet. I picked up a handful. Another step in building my stairway to heaven.
How long do we have to stay here, Mama?
All the time we need, you redneck. Sooner or later, he'll decide to come out of there.
The poor animal had been put to rest forever.
Can we
Found the
go
power
now?
of persuasion that woman
No.
had over Eugene horrifying.
And now?
No!
Mama, it started raining.
Don't talk nonsense, you big monkey! Can't you see there's not even a cloud in the sky?
But I was sure that... Mama! Mama!
Eugene, you idiot! Get back here immediately!
Two 0 for me, Mama. I knew that wouldn't be the last meeting with the two henchmen. But for the time being, I had dodged a bullet. Then I saw Bobby on the ground. Eugene had clearly let him fall as he ran. It was a great relief to have him back in my possession. It was high time to beat it. Hey,
How's it going?
the device is gone. I'd like to specify that I risked my life once again to make it possible.
Perfect. We should have what we need to continue with our search. There. Now we have all 3 signals we'll use for tracking.
And how do we proceed now?
Do you see the light trails? They show the direction of the outgoing calls from the radio towers. I just have to select the radio tower to manipulate and use the 2 arrows on the lower left to rotate the signal.
But how will you know when you've set them the right way?
The signals will become more defined once they're arranged in their correct orientation. And once all 3 are done, we'll have the general position of Rodwed's cell phone at the moment the calls were received.
Hey, I actually understood that.
Now let me work. Lars, come here. I think I got it. The signals seem well defined. These are the exact directions of the phone calls. If we consider only the area where the 3 signals overlap and narrow it down to the circular area we're inspecting...
We obtain a decidedly small zone. In the Everglades, that would make sense.
In that vicinity, there only seems to be an old, unused building I cannot find any official papers for.
We found it. This is the place they brought Catherine. I'd bet my hat. We have to go, now.
Hold on. We need to think carefully. You always go and charge in without a plan, and as a result, you've risked your life many times since this case started. We must be extra cautious instead. We have very few hours of light left, so we might as well wait until tomorrow. In the meantime, we will formulate a safe approach plan. We could even consider involving Burton. After all, we're dealing with a teenager's life here.
I'm not entirely convinced, but all right. For once, I'll try to restrain myself.
Perfect. At this point, would you mind if I stay over? We could save a few precious hours.
Be my guest. The bed is right over there. On the other hand, I can see that you and the sofa are meant for each other, so I don't want to come between you.
You're really the last of the knights, Lazarus Bundy.
What would happen to Catherine Malsberg if I didn't make my move in time? And besides, how much would I expose Alice by involving her in all this?
Those were the questions that kept me awake. The answers to those same questions finally helped me to understand what I had to do. I was going to be alone for the last time.